I have been composing music, primarily fan-made video game soundtracks, for over a year. In the past, I often received feedback stating that my pieces were great, but I needed to work on the sound quality and mixing. This would include subjects like boosting or reducing certain frequencies, learning how to use different plugins and filters in FL Studio, training my ear through regular practice, and comparing my own music to professionally made soundtracks to single out what should be worked on. To sum all these ideas up, the main question for my Capstone project was, what is the best and most reasonable way to improve the sound quality of the music I compose? The core competency I focused on was critical thinking, as I listened to many popular soundtracks from video game series like Soulsborne, Assassin's Creed, 40K Mechanicus and Dawn of War, The Witcher 3, Total War, etc. I then compared it to my own music, looked into behind-the-scene documentaries, composer interviews, and guides to see how and what I should improve on. Based on my research, the audio spectrum can be separated into several categories. I listed out several important tips I picked up on. Following these tips can make a world of difference and make exported audio files sound truly professional. Low bass is anything less than 50 Hz. This range is so low that the human ear can barely detect any pitch when notes are being played. Boosting around this range is at the very least counterproductive, and at worst can actually damage or destroy headphones and speakers if you boost the lowest frequencies too much. The next area is bass, anything between 50 Hz and 250 Hz. I've found that it's best to keep most bass signals around the 90 to 200 Hz area, with a tiny boost in the upper ranges to add some presence or clarity. There is something called the irritational area, which usually means a note that's playing around 200 to 800 Hz. This is the main culprit area for muddy sounding mixes, hence the term irritational area. Most frequencies around here can cause what are called psychoacoustic problems. If too many sounds in a mix play in this area, a track can sound annoying to listen to. Most people won't be able to identify the exact issue, but would be able to tell that something's off. Mid-range means a note playing from 800 to 6000 Hz. Based on my research, human hearing is extremely sensitive at these frequencies. So even a tiny boost around this will result in a huge change in the sound quality. In fact, this is because human voices are centered in this area. Its frequency range is what we are most used to analyzing. It's a bad idea to apply any boosting in this area, especially on solo vocals. We're sensitive to how the human voice should naturally sound, so anything else will throw the listener off. High range is anything between 6000 to 8000 Hz. The main thing I learned about this range is to boost it slightly for overall clarity. There aren't many downsides to doing this, and it's practically a market standard for high quality pieces. High range is anything between 8000 to 20,000 Hz. Boosting around this range, especially around 12,000 Hz, can make a recording sound more high quality than it actually is. In fact, this is a technique commonly used by the recording industry to trick your mind into thinking that audio files or CDs are of a higher quality than they would naturally sound. However, boosting this area too much also requires a lot of care and careful balancing. If you boost it too much, it causes a background hiss which degrades the overall sound quality. Boosting high-pitched frequencies too much will result in a piece of music becoming irritating to listen to. Now I will play my cover of a popular Assassin's Creed theme. It sounds decent at the beginning, but it starts to clip as the piece goes on, degrading the overall sound quality. This can be fixed by adding reverb, boosting and limiting certain frequencies, and playing with different filters to make certain instruments stand out, while sending some frequencies to the background. This creates a noticeable difference in sound quality. For simpler pieces like this, mixing is less important as you naturally have fewer clashing frequencies due to having fewer instruments playing at the same time. However, for a piece like this, or even this, the difference would be obvious. In this presentation, I only skimmed over a number of techniques I learned in the last month or two. The pieces I played are just a few out of the drafts I worked on this month. The most important thing I learned is that sound mixing should be done differently for every single piece that is composed. There is no set of rules that can be followed, which is why experience is so important. An understanding of the instruments you are using is crucial, so you know what natural sounds to replicate and what clashing frequencies to avoid. For example, a low cello and an organ both playing in the bass register at the same time could create some noticeable problems in a piece. You would have two choices. Either play one instrument at a single time, boost one's bass frequencies and lower the others to make one stand out, or additionally, in fewer cases, lower them both if they are meant to accompany a solo instrument. Every single project is different, so a composer might have different goals as to what they would like to achieve. Composing and mixing is a creative outlet, so there is no right or wrong answer to how a piece should sound at the end. However, having a basic knowledge of sound mixing is crucial if a composer wants to be competitive by standing out in such a saturated market. The experience I got from doing this project will prove to be invaluable in the future as I continue to pursue composition as a potential career.